Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry for the lack of content recently because I've been recovering from an illness that I've had for a couple of weeks and just basically recovered this week. So hopefully I'll be back to a more regular schedule and bring you the latest news surrounding Manchester United. So since the last time I was on here, obviously we crashed out of the Champions League because of the defeat away at Basel, but I have to say that we were 100% to blame for the result because we should have won all of our home games to secure our spot in the latter stages of the competition before we going away to Basel needing a result to qualify. So looking at that, you have to say that we were the one to blame for the not qualifying for the latter stages, because remember in August when we received the draw, everyone was saying how we're gonna trample the group and progress to the latter stages with no problem, and hopefully even going to the final again and meeting perhaps Barcelona or Real Madrid and reclaim our European title. But that didn't happen because, like I said, down to our fault for not winning our home games. And yes, and a lot of people criticised David De Gea for his part in the game, but in the first goal, yes, it was a bit strange, but he did make a interception with that cross at the first of all, and the ref should have paused the play because Chris Smalling, who previously a few seconds earlier suffered a head injury because of a clash with Nemanja Vidic, and yeah, any head injury in today's game, the ref need to pause it because it could lead to serious consequences. And perhaps if Chris Smalling was fit, then he might have got back to the cross. You never know. So, well, hindsight is a wonderful thing, I have to say, but like I said, we're the one to blame for not qualifying properly for this year's European Champions League last 16s and further. And obviously with that game as well, we lost Nemanja Vidic to a cruciate knee ligament that will rule him out for the rest of the season, which is a huge blow for us because we look a much better team with him in the side. I mean, record speaks for itself. I think that we won 75% of our games with him, but have lost nearly half of our games without him. And there he goes. That proves the fact that with Nemanja Vidic, our captain, that we are a better side because he brings certain qualities that not a lot of other defenders in the world offer, like his monumental heading when there's a dangerous ball whipped into the box. You know that if Vidic isn't in there, he will always get his head on that no matter what. Because I remember one game a few years back against Arsenal, Adebayor was going to get a ball in right down at his feet, but Vidic bravely dived down and challenged him with his head at his feet. I mean, who else in the Premier League would do that? Personally, I can't see David Luiz doing that by himself. Then at the weekend, we responded perfectly with the 4-1 win against Wolves at home. A lot of people say the fixture's been kind, but it could have been backlash because Wolves was quite a determined team after their 2-1 win against Sunderland the week before, so it could have went either way. So it was a good job that we got the early goal from Nani, and then all the other goals followed, which settled the nerves of the crowd, and they were brilliant on the day, supporting the team throughout. And it was great to see Wayne Rooney getting back on the score sheet after 8 games, going without a goal after the blistering start that he had with his goal scoring record. I mean, it was a record-breaking run that he had at the beginning of the season, scoring I think about 9 goals, and the other players like Dzeko and Aguero who got more than him. And you couldn't really blame him for the lack of goals in recent match because Sir Alex had said himself that he had deployed Rooney in different roles, meaning that by the time the attack was going to get in the box and the ball was getting delivered, Rooney would have been in other positions, setting that football up to be crossed, not be at the end of it as well, which would have been impossible for him to do. So, like I said, great result at the weekend against Wolves. So now I'll take you on more current news and general club news. So on Monday, the bad news came about Darren Fletcher that he's going to take an extended break from football in order to recover from a serious health concern, and what he developed is ulcerative colitis, which is a inflammable bowel disease that affect a lot of people, and doctors have been amazed that Darren Fletcher had performed at the level he has for a long time since he had the conditions, and they were astounded by that and how his character has pushed him through the tough and difficult times. And I'll give you more information on it. It's a lifelong disease that people don't get away from, and you have to take regular medicine in order to fight these symptoms and to lead a kind of semi-independent life. And another sportsman who has this disease is England World Cup winner flanker Lewis Moody, who says in his autobiography about how when he was at Leicester Tigers, he used to take the protein shakes in order to build muscle more quickly, but now since he was diagnosed with the condition, he has to watch out what he eats in his diet, so no more red meat, no curries and stuff like that, in order to reduce any chance of the symptoms coming back and the disease getting worse and worse. So obviously it's a really disappointing news for Darren Fletcher, because you'd have thought, because he went for long periods missing from our squad in the last 2 seasons, that he might have recovered fully from the disease, and that obviously hasn't worked, so he'll take an extended break in order to recover. Like I said, it's a lifelong disease, so he's not going to recover fully, but hopefully to an extent that he will be able to get back into the first team and challenge for his place again, because you will know how he's a big game player, and he probably one of the first names Select's put down in a big match against one of our rivals. Yeah, so obviously really disappointing news, and that takes our injury toll to 9 now, and I wouldn't say it's a crisis and that we need to be concerned about, because we have a quality squad that's going to cover for us over this tough period time. But any more injuries, then I think it could very potentially be very dangerous for us, because our resources, even though are very good, it is stretched. There's no getting away from that, and I'll go on about how certain people in the game has told and suggest things about getting new players, etc. So yeah, Darren Fletcher will be out for an extended amount of time, indefinitely, from football. So I hope he'll be back soon.